This is my first vlog entry for this project. I feel a little awkward doing it right now, but I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the good things I heard in last night's meeting. We actually had a speaker who has 35 years sober. And one of the things she said that I felt was most impactful was someone had asked her one time, how do you thank AA for what the program has given you? And she said service. She also talked about, which it's not even close to the first time I've heard it, being sober but having a child that struggles with the disease and is still struggling with their addiction. Because the parent was sick for so long. I want to kind of raise Maddie in the rooms. I want to normalize sobriety for her in the same way that alcoholism was normalized for me. And again, I'm supposed to do this 3 times a week for whoever is going to be watching these. So this is entry number 1. I'm excited for this project. Thank you. I always hated the winter time because the job that he worked, he was laid off in the wintertime. So he was home all the time. Christmas lights caused me anxiety. The times it got really bad, I would just focus on the lights outside. All 4 of us needed to go somewhere, and Mom and my stepdad had driven separate cars, and I remember just begging Mom to let me ride with her. And she got annoyed, and she took my brother and she made me ride with my stepdad. And I knew it was going to be awkward conversation. I knew it was going to be touching. It was just I don't want to be in this situation anymore. And that always really bothered me. Because I feel as a parent, why didn't you question that? There was a reason I really didn't want to go with him. And because of how it came out, she didn't believe me. So she came home real upset, and we tried to talk about it, and I knew she didn't believe me. She had told me she didn't believe me. And then at one point she had asked, do you want me to kick him out or not? And I remember thinking that this was the first time we had ever had any real financial stability, and I remember thinking, he makes my mom really happy. So I said, I can make this work. And things were okay with us for a little while. But then he started giving me alcohol to try to get me lubricated for him. And I knew what he was doing at that point, because at that point, I was 15, And then when I started having behavioral issues at about 16, then it was, I don't understand why you are the way you are. I don't understand why you're a slut. I don't understand why, you think it's okay to sneak alcohol. And the resentment with that for me built so quickly and so heavily, because it's I was telling all of you and none of you saw me, and now you don't get to turn around and be well, why are you not functioning the way that I wanted you to? So, yeah. A lot of substance abuse, a lot of rejection from my parents, a lot of sexual abuse, a lot of emotional abuse, a lot of abuse mixed with love. So, honestly, I would have rather him have just beat me, because then I would have known there's no love entwined with you punching me in the face. First thing we need to do is spray the pan.
I want to do that too.
Well, you're not quite big enough to spray the pan, so Mommy will get it.
So I'm going to cook. I'm going to get the greens together.
We will ice once it's baked out.
I will help you microwave it.
Okay. I think we're good for the camera now. You want to say goodbye?
Goodbye. Let me turn it off.
I don't think you can reach.
Why?
My anxiety and my depression, that really fed my desire to numb all of those feelings and to feel happy and carefree. And so I used alcohol to kind of mask all of those negative feelings of resentment and anger and fear and sad. The only time I had stopped drinking was when I found out I was pregnant. I was able to stop for 9 months, but that was solely out of the necessity of ruining my child if I didn't, if not killing her. And I remember being, like, once I had my child, I remember being excited to be able to pick up again because I was like, oh, my tolerance is down again, like I can drink like a normal person. And I remember I took that first drink and it was off to the races and my tolerance hadn't changed at all. And then it was back to every night. Yeah, negative effects of my childhood. I was killing myself without having a real attempt for years.
So, what is trauma? We're not talking about a bad day. We're talking about an event or a series of events that has a lasting impact on individuals. So I want to spend a little bit of time talking about ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. And I don't know, Andy, did they get the ACE questionnaire that I emailed you? Okay, did you guys all take it? Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that.
It was actually a training being done at work. But I hadn't really read the email. And there had been questions sent, to go ahead and have these questions filled out before we go to this training. And I had procrastinated because that's what I did.
And these are basically the 10 questions that you had on your ACE quiz or screening. And it's all prior to the age of 18. Did any of these things happen to you? And they fall into 3 categories: abuse, neglect, and then household dysfunction.
It was a scoring, 1 point for everything that's happened to you, between the ages of like 0 to 18, like your childhood. And then I kind of slow down for a minute and I look over at her and I was like, hey, what was your score? And she said 0. And I was like, okay. So then I go through and I start, ticking away at the points, and by the end of it, there was only 1 that I didn't have a point next to.
They learned that ACEs are remarkably common. The majority of people have 1 ACE. And you can see that then they break up 4 or more ACEs, about 12-13% of the population. People with higher ACE scores are more at risk for anxiety, depression, substance use disorders, etc. And you might think, well, why does this matter? Why does this matter?
This child went through a lot. And I wasn't very nice to her. And I'm still not very nice to her. It was after the training, I went through the test again and I took it from my daughter's point of view. And she was already sitting at a 2. And I was like, she is already sitting at more than what most of your coworkers, adult coworkers, are now. But I know, God willing, my daughter's gonna grow up to be an adult, and I just want her to be a functioning member of society that isn't constantly having to fight her own brain to stay alive. I'll probably never tell my parents that I did this project either. 'Cause I still don't want to hurt them.
Hi.
Maddie's having some Maddie pizza.
Hi.
Let's talk about your day. What'd you do today?
I don't know.
The mental obsession of alcohol for me was unlike anything I had ever experienced or have experienced since. It was to the point that every morning before I went to work, I would put the bottle on the counter from the night before. I would take the bottle and I would take a picture of where the alcohol level was in the bottle, so I didn't forget where the level was, so I knew exactly how much I had to buy. I saw a post on social media one day that said, if you want to know what's important to someone, look at the pictures in their camera roll. And I remember opening my gallery, and there were a lot of pictures of my baby. There were about the same amount of pictures of just bottles of vodka. I had this physical piece of evidence staring me in the face that liquor is at least as important as your child already. But I had decided I really needed to stop drinking. So I started going to AA meetings. And then I started working the steps. And that was where I found there was a real difference when I started putting work into it. It wasn't just showing up to a meeting and listening anymore. It was, I'm going to make you look at everything. So yeah, I dove into that, and in February, we're in November now, so February, Lord willing, I'll have 2 years sober. So okay, yep, that's it. Now I just got to put it in the mail, which I intend to do tomorrow. I remember I texted my friend and I was like, I'm going to start a group down here. And I think it's going to be a women's group because we don't have one. And I remember he was real supportive. He was like, that's a big deal. And I was like, yeah, but why couldn't I do it? And there's just something about, women, mothers coming together that share the same problem, and it's a safe space. So I run an AA group now. I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous. I really hope that I can really help people here. I think there's a need for it down here. I just want to do a good job.
Hi. Why not? These diamond nuggies are shaped like dinosaurs, but they're chicken nuggies. Is that kind of weird?
My daughter she's so happy. I can see already that she has empathy for people, and I love that about her. She's very thoughtful. She's so smart. And I'm sure, every parent feels this way about their children, and I hope they do. But she constantly making me laugh.
Is this chocolate?
Yeah, that's also chocolate.
And
For some reason, I have 1 million half bags of...
what is this? Have these chocolate in it?
Nope, that's just brown sugar. It needs to go in the bowl. Okay, here you go.
Looks
More
like
sugar.
Looks like snow.
Yeah.
Whee! It's just like I'm making a porridge. Just like I'm
How often are you making porridge?
I don't know.
It's interesting to see as a parent too, when you are doing things and then they kind of feed it back to you, they're internalizing it. If I say I'm overwhelmed, I say that kind of a lot. I'm working on that. She'll say from the back seat, "It's okay to feel overwhelmed, Mommy."
Sorry.
Do you want me to help you?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Well, let me know when you're ready for me to jump in.
Oh, I'm gonna do a lot.
I'm gonna crack the egg.
Well, can I put it
You
in
can stir the egg.
and
Here you go.
smash it?
Yep. Ready?
Yeah. Ready?
Ready.
Ready?
Okay, and 3. It's the last of the flour.
Dirty.
Sorry. Why do you insist on touching everything?
Because I like you.
I take her a lot of places. We like to go adventuring together. She really likes that. I want her to see, the world's bigger than our little town. But yeah, she is a ray of sunshine. She is everything that I'm not, and I love her for that. That's all you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
See?
I want to do that too.
Okay. Put that one right there. Good work. I want kids to have sober moms. Helping the people now is great. Anytime someone doesn't die from addiction is great. But I do think long-term in the future as well, we're saving our kids. That's really, because the trauma to the other adults in my room, it's already been done. We can still save those kids though.
Can I take a cookie?
They might still be a little warm. You can try. Here. I'll put this one for you. How's that one? Good?
What?
Alright, I'll put one on a napkin for you.
Cornmeal and cookie? What?
Enjoying the fruits of your labor.